So, to be 100% honest, I don't even know why I bothered with this film because I knew that it was just going to be a headache inducing, just cornball, like, why did they even make this kind of film? I really like Jack Frost for its cheesiness and corniness, but when you're making a sequel to something like that doesn't even need a sequel, and you're making it take place in the tropics when it also takes place during Christmas and has to do with a killer snowman, and the whole thing is like in the Bahamas or wherever the fuck it is. It's just like, why? Why did you do that? This film actually could have played out better if they just kept it somewhere winter. They could have done the whole vacation thing, but like make it on New Year's or something, like some New Year's ball or gala where this killer snowman can go wreak havoc. But when you're making it at Christmas, but everything is a tropical island, it's just, I don't know. I wasn't on board for a story like that in the first place, but I like the first, and I'd never seen this before, and it's free on Tubi, so I just decided to check it out. Same director and everything, and a lot of the same cast, because we're dealing with the same guy from the original Sam next year kind of thing. And he's having like PTSD from the entire first film, and he goes to this tropical island with his wife and this other couple, and the snowman was being experimented on by like I think the FBI, and it melts and escapes and basically mixes in with Sam's blood from the first one, and then is able to kind of like have this ability to track Sam wherever he is. And he's able to track him to the island. So I'm assuming they got some inspiration from Jaws 4 with that theme and just decided to, oh, it'd be funny if we take the Jaws 4 elements because Jaws 4 is so cheesy and we can make this cheesy too. So maybe they did that, but for the most part, I didn't like this movie. There's some quirky characters and interesting characters. There's this like token Caribbean guy. There's this poor man's John Cleese character with the mustache and British accent that basically like acts like a John Cleese-esque character. One of my favorites, surprisingly, because at the same time as being one of the most annoying characters in the film, this was also my favorite character in the film. He goes by Captain Fun, and his job is literally to like on this resort make people have fun, and he's always just being loud and like, hey, who's not having a good time? He's that one guy that'll just come annoy the shit out of you if you're not having a good time, if you're not smiling. You're just like, hey, where's your smile? Turn that frown upside down and all that bullshit. But he's really funny because of the shit that he says, and like he doesn't stop. And I don't know, there was just something hilarious about his character that I enjoyed. So usually a character like that would annoy the piss out of me, but in this case it didn't. You got this random guy with an eye patch that comes in. I don't even know why they threw him in there, but you get this mix of like quirky ass characters. And the snowman, I don't know what the rules for this damn snowman is. It's a serial killer who died and his molecules blended in with snow and everything. But the way the snowman can literally go into any water, hot or cold. He can freeze and defrost on command. And he can obviously go in the ocean. And there's this scene where he just magically ends up in like a snow globe. And it's just like he has no rules. He can basically do anything. He can even like turn into gas, I think, at certain points, like or snowflakes or whatnot. But eventually, this film goes to a point where the snowman starts to become resilient to antifreeze, which they used in the first film too. And he replicates himself into a snowball, and then that snowball creates like little mini snowballs that are evil. So you have this like gremlin-esque thing going on, except with snowballs instead of gremlins. And there's some funny kills. I'll give this movie that. Some of the kills, like the snowman whips a snowball at one guy, and it just takes his entire arm off, and the gore is like coming out of there. So that was pretty funny and neat. And there's gag kills in that sense throughout the film, but they're not even. There's not enough of them, and they're nowhere close to entertaining enough, and there's not enough of them to merit such a dumb fucking story. Like it gets tedious, it gets way repetitive, and it's just by the midway point you're just like, I'm checked out, like I'm done with this. This one just didn't work too much for me, although it has certain moments in it that are entertaining enough. It's just not enough of them. And there's no like rules to this film. Like, there's nothing to grasp onto. It's just the snowman that can just turn into water at any time. And like, there's a scene close to the beginning of the film. There's these two guys in the middle of the ocean on some raft. Doesn't explain how they got to that raft, or like where, like how they got lost or anything. They're just on the raft. They have a cooler, and then inside the cooler is the carrot for the snowman. How the carrot got there, how the snowman got there, none of that shit's explained. And then the one guy takes the carrot, and somehow the snowman is able to like form an icicle from the ocean, and it just pierces the boat and pierces one of the guys. His voice, I think it's voiced by the same guy, but his voice is just annoying. In another scene, there's this woman who has an ice cube, and she's like cooling herself off with an ice cube, and part of the snowman is on that ice cube, so he's like, oh yeah, rub your titty, that's right. And he's just like making these sexual sounds and dialogue to this woman. But the like the snowman is also in like some water in a cooler or something like that, so he's, I don't know, it fucking works. It's just it's basically a woman rubbing herself with ice, and then a snowman voiceover saying sexual shit. It's just, it's like, I get the whole like so bad it's good, like let's just be dumb for dumb's sake, but it really is just dumb for dumb's sake, and it doesn't offer a whole lot like the first film did. Like the first film is entertainingly goofy bad, and this one is just boring bad, which is not a good combo. So I didn't think it was going to work for me, and lo and behold, it didn't work for me. But it's on Tubi if you want to check it out for yourself. Maybe 5 to 10% of the film is entertaining, and the rest is just skip. Like it's not, to me it's not worth it. So I wouldn't buy it or anything like that. But it is what it is. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.